This is Grace Decky. Today is May 2nd, 2014. I am interviewing Dick English, a longtime parishioner at Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thanks for speaking with me today. Please restate your name and tell what year you joined Immaculate
My
Heart of
name
Mary.
is Dick English, and I came from Kalamazoo, Michigan in 1953 when I was just married, and I lived over on Rosewood, 2 blocks away from church. And I was looking for a Catholic church, and I found a little cement block building over here, and it had a cross on it. I said, that must be a Catholic church. And so I went over there, and I met Father Kilgore. And Father Kilgore was our first pastor. And he invited me to join the parish, which I did right away. And that was in 1953. So I've been a member of the parish 61 years. Today I'm 87 years old. The Lord has blessed me because I'm still living. And we had 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. They all graduated from Immaculate Heart of Mary and Catholic Central.
Describe your family at the time. Name your spouse as well as the names of your children.
My spouse was Irene English. She's sitting right over there. And what else did you need?
The name and ages of your children.
Oh, okay. My children, my first son was William English, and he's 60 years old now. And my next one was my daughter, Mary Jo. My son lives in Kalamazoo, and my daughter lives in Dorr, Michigan, and she is a audiologist. She has a doctorate in audiology. My third son, Thomas, well, my daughter is 58. My second son, Thomas English, he is 56. And my fourth son is 50. And he lives in Grand Rapids, and he goes to his kids go to Forest Hills grade school and high school. And he graduated also from Catholic Central.
All right. Who was the pastor when you joined? Please discuss your relationship with him and give your impressions of his role in our parish.
Okay. That's the 4th question. What other priests do you have memories of? Or
No. Who was the pastor when you joined?
well, when I first joined the parish, Father Kilgore was the pastor, and later on, after he served 6 years, he came back in 1966, and he was again our pastor, and he was responsible for building the new church. And I was on the building board, and we were privileged because he was a hard worker, and he got everything approved. He had the architect, all the plans drawn up. He arranged the loans at the bank, and then he had us in and told us what he had done so far and if we liked it. And we did, so we didn't have to do anything as a board for the building except approve it. And we liked the church real well, and so he started it. And one thing I did, as a member of the board, the church was this way on the property originally. And I says, we ought to turn the church this way, so the front of the church was on Burton. And the rectory was in the back. And then they had all the fields in the back, and they had the privacy during the week. The rectory didn't have the noise from the street. And they all approved it. So I did something.
Please discuss your relationship with Father Kilgore and give your impression of his role in our parish.
My relationship with Father Kilgore and what?
And your impression on his role in our parish.
His role in our parish, very, very important. Because he got it started. He came here as an order priest. The bishop let their order come in because they needed priests. And they robbed like priests. And they were all trained in special speaking. And they were great priests. And they impressed everybody right from the start. First of all, Father Kilgore and his assistant actually laid some of the blocks for the first church. They worked on it themselves. And it was very crude, and they kept improving the building. Finally, they put bricks on the outside. Then they fixed up the inside. Later on, they needed to expand the church, so they made it longer. And they did everything they could. After that, in 1966, they built a new church. They took all the pews out of the old church, and that became the first gym for the school. It was a basketball gym. So that's where we were.
Okay. What do you remember most about him?
What do I remember most
About Father Kilgore?
about Father Kilgore? Because he had such a great impression with his speaking ability to the members of the parish that they all loved him. And he could make us do with love about anything he wanted us to do. And he had a lot of good things and ideas, and we followed him and led for him because he had such a great impression. And we all used to say that Father Kilgore could sell snow to the Eskimos.
What other priests do you have memories of? Please give their names and what you most remember about them.
I have a lot of them along and here, and there's their pictures. That's out of the church history book that Mrs. Deb Moore, she did all the church history. That's Father Kilgore and his assistant. And then as we went along, guess who this one was? Father Matt English. No relation. But we had a great relationship because of our names being common to each other. And when he left after 6 years, he gave me a silver box that had his name on it and the date that he was ordained, so I would always have something in my house to remember him. And he has died in recent years. And as we go along further, we had Father Roberts and Father Craig. Father Craig, he's showing on here somewhere. Father Roberts was a real young priest, and so was Father Craig. And I remember when they were in the rectory, which was built next door, that the two of them would be out playing basketball on the first basketball backboard they put out in the parking lot. And then, as we went along, there was a Father Mahoney. Father Joyce he impressed me great because he was so good with the altar boys and my kids, and he taught them a lot about religion and such. And Father Lawless, I remember him because Father Lawless was 1969 to 1975. And when he was just about ready to leave the parish, he appointed me to be the head of the pastoral council.
Wow.
And so after he left, Father Flater came, and Father Flater, I became very close to him because I worked with him throughout the time I was on the board. And we still get correspondence and phone calls on our birthdays from him.
All right. Did your children go to IHM school?
Did what? Yes. My children did go to IHM school.
Tell about the atmosphere of the school.
The atmosphere of school? Well, the school kept on having little additions and improvements on it. But originally we had the nuns. And I think all but my third son had nuns. And it was a great school. They loved it. It's still a great school.
All right. Any principals and or teachers who made impressions on your children that you remember?
Yes, I'm trying to remember. Most all of them did, but we don't have the nuns' names here. I can't tell you which one it was. It was one of the sisters was also the principal.
What activities and groups did you get involved in at IHM?
Where did I get involved?
What activities and groups did you get involved in at IHM?
What interest I got involved in? Okay. I got involved in the Holy Name Society and the Knights of Columbus, the Golf League, and various other social things that the church had at that time.
Did you meet any people through the group, and how did that group help IHM to grow?
I met a lot of people my own age through the Golf League and through church. And I met one person, his name was Mr. Zollner, and Mr. Zollner got me acquainted with about 10 other young men about my age and their wives, and we had a group that we did everything together. We traveled together, we went all over, we went to Rome, went to places like that as we got older, and we just got about 3 of the whole group that are living yet. My wife and Mrs. Aller over there, and Mr. Morrison, and also Mrs. Knapp, she's not here. So.
Did you coach any sports?
That what?
Did you coach any sports?
No, I just helped out with football.
Tell about specific memories you have about new things at IHM, such as buildings, new programs, and new ways of doing things.
Okay, well, the ones that I was involved in and the ones that I remember the clearest was the new church, this building right here. And that was the time when I was still on the board with Father Flater. Father Flater, he had the idea to build this building. He tore the old church down, which was our old gym at that time. It was our old gym because when the new church was built, the old church took all the pews out and they made a gymnasium out of it. So they tore that down in order to build this building. So that was Father Flater's claim to fame in the parish.
Oh, all right. What's
Father
different?
Flater is this priest right here. And he was here 1975 to 1981.
What's different at IHM now that you miss about former times?
What I miss about former times, I don't miss it, but it was different. We had bingo,
Bingo?
yes, and a lot of the parish men and women worked on the bingo team. And that was played every Sunday.
Were you involved in the bingo team?
Yes, I was just one of the workers. And we had people that came to play bingo here from all over town.
Have the priest and or parishioners helped you through tough times?
Say again, I didn't wear my hearing aids today, I should.
Have the priest and or parishioners helped you through tough times?
Help me do what?
Through tough times?
Tough times, definitely. Yes. They were, anytime we had tough times, the priests were right there for us. And they helped everybody get through tough times.
Discuss how your life has been enriched by being a member of IHM.
Well, my life was helped me through my career. I was a salesman, and I worked hard every day on the road. I sold business forms for people that use computers and did different types of businesses. So that church connection was something that helped you in life. It helped you to have the strength to stand up to the hardships of your job.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about IHM Parish?
IHM Parish has been 61 years of an important part of my life and part of my social life, part of my Catholic background, my prayer life. It's been a great encouragement for me going through life. So, okay.
Thank you for speaking with me today. On behalf of the parish, thank you for all you've done to make Immaculate Heart of Mary such a wonderful parish.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me.